Hey agents! The topic of toxicity has come up a lot recently, especially around escalations. One story I've heard more than once goes something like this. I joined an escalation, someone looked at my build, said, "Your build sucks," and kicked me. If that's true, then yes, I think we can all agree that's not a great way to treat people. Whenever possible, we should be educating and helping one another, not putting each other down. As I listened to more players, though, I started hearing a very different perspective. Some session creators described random players who overstated their experience, ended up needing to be carried, rushed ahead, triggered enemy waves before the group was ready, weren't willing to adapt their builds for the team, ignored the group's plan, or pushed for higher tiers because they wanted the better rewards despite not really being ready. Those decisions didn't just affect the individual player. They put everyone else's time, effort, and the session creator's hard-earned tokens at risk by increasing the chances that the group would fail. And if you pause and study this chart, you'll see the damage scaling is no joke. Failing to adapt your build doesn't just affect your own performance, it means everyone else in the group has to work harder to compensate. That's when something clicked. Maybe we've been treating toxicity as though it's one problem, when it's actually several different problems that all produce the same outcome: frustration. Escalations aren't casual content. The higher the shared risk, the higher the quality of communication needs to be. My goal isn't to create any gatekeeping, it's to replace assumptions with conversations, so everyone understands what's at stake and whether the group is truly aligned before launching an escalation. So instead of spending this video debating who's right and who's wrong, I'd rather focus on something practical. Here's a simple 3-step conversation I think groups can have before launching an escalation. The goal isn't to evaluate builds first. It's to make sure everyone shares the same expectations. Once that's clear, it's much easier to determine whether everyone's builds support the objective. I genuinely love your feedback on how to improve it, so be sure to share your thoughts and insights in the comment section. First, can we communicate? If we can't communicate, everything else becomes harder. So ask if everyone has a headset and if they can come off mute. Some players rely on text chat. Others can't use voice because of cost, sleeping family members, or other circumstances. That's okay, as long as everyone agrees they can still communicate effectively. If players can't hear each other or won't respond through comms or chat, then I recommend saying, "Hi, I hope you can hear me, but it's impossible to coordinate combat without comms. We're not a good fit for this escalation, but maybe next time? Thanks for joining. Good luck." So you amicably part ways. Second, are we willing to cooperate? Once players have come off mute and are willing to talk, be very clear on what's expected. This is also the time to ask whether everyone is willing to adapt if the group needs them to. It isn't about control, but making sure everyone is working toward the same objective. In fact, this isn't anything new. Similar expectations have been standard practice in Division 2 raids for years. Here's what we need, guys. We stick together, no face tanking, nobody runs ahead and triggers the next enemy wave before everyone's ready. We need time to change our loadouts in between phases, and we follow the group's plan. Don't be afraid to speak up if something isn't working. Adapt these expectations to whatever your group needs to succeed. That should help get everyone aligned. Third, what difficulty is everyone comfortable with? The key point here is to protect everyone from accidentally getting into a tier where one or two players unintentionally become carries. So here are a few questions to ask. Have you completed this tier before? How comfortable are you at this difficulty? Does everyone agree on the target tier? These aren't meant to embarrass anyone. They're meant to make sure everyone is taking on a challenge they're genuinely prepared for. If you look back at the damage scaling chart I showed earlier, the penalties become significant very quickly. If one player isn't ready for that difficulty, everyone else has to work harder to compensate. Alignment doesn't mean everyone has the same build. It means everyone understands the objective, accepts the same level of risk, and is willing to work together to achieve it. Notice what we haven't done yet. Up to this point, we haven't actually evaluated anyone's build. That was intentional. If those first 3 conversations go well, then build discussions become much easier and much less personal. Before we ask whether a build is appropriate, we first need to agree on what we're asking that build to accomplish. If the group agrees on Tier 5, that's one conversation. If everyone wants to tackle Tier 10, that's a very different conversation because the expectations and the consequences are much higher. Once everyone agrees on the objective, build discussions stop being about opinions and start being about supporting that objective. Not to decide whether someone is a good or bad player, but to determine whether everyone's build supports the challenge the group has agreed to take on. Instead of saying, "Your build sucks," try saying something like, "We're planning Tier 9. I think this build is going to struggle there. Would you be willing to switch to something that better supports the team, or would everyone rather drop down a tier?" Do you see the difference? The objective didn't change, only the way we communicated it did. We're no longer judging the player, we're solving the problem together. The solution might be changing a build, lowering the difficulty, or adjusting team roles. Occasionally, the conversation reveals that the group simply isn't the right fit for that particular escalation. That isn't gatekeeping or toxicity. It's respecting the time, effort, and commitment that every player brings into the session by making sure everyone is aligned before launching the escalation. And if that conversation prevents even one failed run, saves a few hard-earned tokens, or simply helps a group enjoy the experience a little more, then I'd say it was worth having. Because at the end of the day, great teammates are every bit as valuable as great builds. Now I want to hear from you. How would you add to or improve these conversations? Let me know in the comments. As always, share this video and channel with friends and clanmates. That's it from me. As always, stay strong, stay safe, and stay dangerous.